Very good there. To the NFL, live odds, sportsbookreview.com, the early game Sunday. Miami at Pittsburgh. Steelers 10. 46 the total. Rematch, week 6. The Dolphins won 30-15. Ajayi had 200 yards rushing. It's 10-6 against 11-5. Miami went 10-6. They were outscored by 17 points. Come on. It's Roethlisberger's 18th career playoff start. 2 rings, and he's 11-6. It's Matt Moore's first career playoff start. Steelers have won 7 in a row. They're on fire. And it's the first time they get the big 3 together. Remember, Bell's been banged up when they made the playoffs in his career.
Well, I mean, in the playoffs, none of they haven't been healthy together. But they certainly were. I don't know if Roethlisberger was healthy against Miami. He was beat up in that game. He passed for only 189 yards. He got sacked twice. Antonio Brown had just 4 receptions for 39 yards. Le'Veon Bell only 53 yards on the ground in that ball game. The Dolphins' defense was the dominant unit. Of course, Big Ben had surgery after the game, and Pittsburgh's offense came on like a freight train down the stretch. I mean, Roethlisberger with 29 touchdown passes, Antonio Brown 106 receptions again, 12 TDs, and Le'Veon Bell, I mean, the most dangerous weapon in the NFL, as dangerous as any over the back half of the campaign. What do you have? 1,268 rushing yards, 75 receptions. Remember, he just had 12 games because none of these guys played last week at Cleveland. The Steelers essentially had a bye week last week, whereas Miami, they were trying to play, and they got annihilated by Pittsburgh, or by New England, I should say.
Yep, and it's going to be cold. It's not going to be Miami weather. Big edge to the Steelers there. Also, Miami 29th in total defense. Your thoughts on Miami's defense and if Matt Moore can make enough plays?
Well, let's talk about the weather first, man. A wind's supposed to be blowing modestly. Game temperature 15 degrees. Wind chill factor in the single digits. No, that is not Miami weather. And of course, for a team that's making their first playoff appearance in 8 years, as opposed to a Steelers team that's in the postseason year after year, the fact that they're playing in difficult conditions certainly problematic. Now, look, I mean, you asked me about Miami's defense. I want to talk about Matt Moore for a minute. Matt Moore is 2-1 as a starter. He beat the Jets on the road. He beat the Bills in a competitive game and made plays in both those 3 contests. So you asked me, can Miami score on Pittsburgh? They got a chance. I mean, the Steelers certainly weren't healthy in that first meeting on the defensive side of the football. And this time around, it's Miami who's not healthy on the defensive side of the football. And they've got some key guys out. Their starting safety, Abdul Qudus, is out. The Patriots riddled that defense without him last week. Multiple injuries in the secondary for the Dolphins, in fact. And, of course, when we look at Pittsburgh, compared to where they were banged up-wise in that first meeting, I mean, Steelers much healthier now. They were rebuilding in their secondary. They are a better defensive team now than they were 3 months ago when these two teams met last.
This is very interesting. Adam Gase against a Mike Tomlin defense. They scored 29, 30, 31 points scored 3 games the last 5 years, including the Tebow playoff win against the Steelers. Repeat the Sagarin rating trend from going back to 2002. We talked about Wednesday in the deep dive here.
Sure. I mean, the trend is very, very simple. It is 40, 15, and 1 against the spread, picking every game in the wild card round dating back to 2002 when the current playoff format began, or when the current divisional format began with 4-team divisions in each conference. And the system is so simple, doesn't take any work. All you got to do is say who faced the tougher strength of schedule according to the Sagarin's numbers. Okay? Now, when you have a double-digit difference, when one team finishes, let's say, number 3 and another team finishes number 30, and you have a 27 differential, that subset of SOS differential of 10 or higher, 22, 4, and 1 against the spread. That's not 73%. That's way higher than that. Pittsburgh ranks number 11 for the course of the regular season. Miami ranks number 27 for the course of the regular season. So the system says take the Steelers, lay the double digits, and expect Pittsburgh to win by margin.
Excellent. Up next, the late game on Fox, Giants and the Packers, and we look to stay red hot with the play of the day on Sportsbit. Betting Insight today on SBRPicks.com. Hey guys, for the full video, go to SBRPicks.com.
Go to SBROdds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.